This is easily the best Mario Kart ever released, and let me explain why. Out of any generation of Mario Kart, so I'm talking Double Dash, Mario Kart Wii, DS, Mario Kart 8, anything, there has never been a game that feels more responsive than Mario Kart World. Alright, I'm not gonna lie to you. There are a couple faults in the game, but not the gameplay. The gameplay is some of the most complicated but easy to understand that I've ever seen. Okay? If you're brand new to Mario Kart or have played any game in the past, you're gonna do just fine. But if you're looking to get really high level at racing and getting the best times on some of these maps, the tech that I've seen with something like grinding on rails or wall riding is absolutely insane. So today I'm going to break down some of the most cool things that I like about Mario Kart World and why I think it's the best Mario Kart, and when it's all said and done, maybe after a couple of DLCs, why honestly this will just be the definitive way to play Mario Kart forever. Okay, so first let's talk about the obvious changes. There are a ton of drivers. There's a ton of drivers. Like, I believe 22. Obviously, if you're semi-good at the game, you're probably not going to ever see that bottom half except for the start of the race. But I still think it's pretty cool that I guess the Switch 2 is using all of its new RAM sticks to its capability. But anyway, it's really cool to see how much of a difference all of the new players added causes in terms of chaos. Because I'll admit, right, so when you're like 2 laps deep on a regular track, you're not seeing the other, 20 players really. But when it's like a knockout tour, that beginning part is really chaotic. And so let's talk about knockout tour, because obviously we could talk about Grand Prix, but honestly a lot of it is the same as other games. Knockout tour is very interesting. Okay, so you start off in a group of a bunch of different drivers, right? And you have to make it through the end of a set amount of tracks and try to get first place. But if you're under a certain threshold of drivers, you get eliminated. Okay, so I've seen a ton of people struggling with this mode, and I want to get into this more, is the CPU in this game. They don't play. The CPU in Mario Kart World is easily the most skilled the computer has ever gotten. Okay, to get, I believe, 3 stars in a knockout tour, you have to get first in every round. And, dude, that's hard to do. I'll be honest, the game isn't very long. I beat the Grand Prix on all gold in, maybe an hour or two. And to be honest with you, I was a little disappointed there wasn't more. However, the games are... The actual gameplay is a lot more expansive than just the tracks, it feels like. It's hard to explain, because in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, you could feel like, okay, this Grand Prix is these set 4 tracks, right? And it feels very, I got to do 3 laps on each track. But in Mario Kart World, you feel like you're going on more of a journey. Right, and you kind of are. You are going through the world map just in a set path. And so, yeah, so Grand Prix has 1 path of tracks for each cup. But Knockout Tour uses a different set of tracks for its cups, which is pretty cool. I'm glad they didn't do any like crazy reusing of the paths. And you'll notice in Knockout Tour, it's a lot more open, if that makes sense. Like, it's more focused on exploring the open world in a set path, versus the Grand Prix is like, it's pretty traditional Mario Kart where you're going through the tracks. Alright, now let's talk about the characters and the karts. So I think that the character selection is pretty cool. I think it's cool that we get to use standard enemies or regular creatures in the Mario world, alongside some of the more popular characters as well. I have seen people complain there are a lot of characters missing from Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. I mean, the Inklings, Link, the Miis. I mean, tons of characters from Mario Kart 8 Deluxe are just not here. And it sucks. It sucks, and we all know they're going to be DLC. Nobody's fooled. We all know how that's going to end up. The question is if it's free DLC or if it's, you know, with the NSO subscription, which is likely. And I'm not happy about it, but I think we do have a good amount of characters, and I think the costumes for the characters are pretty cool. So, is it the best? No, but we did get a good amount of characters. I see a lot of people having fun with the side characters like the cow or the coin purse thing. Anyway, next, the carts. So the carts are not customizable, which a lot of people have complained about. I never was like the biggest carer of customizing a cart. I really just would end up doing the meta, or just like what I felt was the most fun car visually. And, you know, with those two mindsets, right, it's a Mario Kart game, bro. Like, you don't have to optimize everything like you're trying to design the best vehicle in history. I like having a set amount and you can pick the best car for you. I'm not like the biggest complainer when I don't have full customization of everything. That does suck for some people though. I actually prefer being simpler. And then moving on to the actual tracks. So this is where the game starts to shine. Like, where I can't even see any other game in Mario Kart history competing, because it's that good, bro. Like, these tracks are that good. Alright, so, I mean, just going through the tracks, there's a lot that we have kind of seen before, but most of it is pretty new. It feels like, if I had to compare it to any other racing game, it feels like you're going through, like, Forza. It's kind of a weird comparison, but, like, the maps feel so, like, integrated within the map. Like, it feels like you're really in the map, but they're different enough that you can tell, okay, this is like an individual track. But they fit in with the world so well. So you'll have sections where you're like, kind of like, in places where you don't feel as normal, and that's really cool, but then you quickly go back and you integrate with the world again. And I think it really balanced that more open world style that they're trying to go for, also with the more cartoony Mario Kart thing. And, you know, with the addition of cool concepts like wall riding, which is something I honestly didn't even realize was going to be in the game until it released. That is really, really cool on some maps. If you look at the time trials and look at the leaderboards, look at their ghosts, bro. These guys are optimizing Mario Kart World, and it's been like a couple days. Insane. But about the knockout tour part of like the world, I don't know. I feel like if you want to explore the tracks for what they really are, I would go for the Grand Prix. I feel like the experience there is very traditional, you know what I'm saying, in terms of the Mario Kart experience. But yeah, Knockout Tour, it feels like you're just going on the interstates of the highways and you're going up and having a good time. But it different things for everyone, I guess. And then I know I said the tracks were good, but there are some tracks that are like mind blowing. I don't want to spoil it if you haven't seen it yet, but I'll just say Rainbow Road is the most mind blowing track I have ever played in a Mario Kart game. I'm not going to say anything more than that, but if you haven't seen it, check it out. Insane. Now, the racing tracks are good, okay? But what might be even better is the musical tracks. The music in this game is probably the best soundtrack Nintendo has ever made. They take inspiration from every generation of Nintendo, and heavily with Super Mario Galaxy. A lot of these tracks are reused in the sense that like the motifs and just like the sound of it are very similar to old tracks, but when it comes to the composition, the way that they make it feel is very, it's modern, yes, it's modern and nostalgic, but it just works. And I feel so impressed by it when I listen, my mouth is open wide because of how shocked I am that they were able to put together a soundtrack that makes Mario Kart 8 Deluxe seem vanilla, and that had a crazy soundtrack. Some of these songs in here are, revisits from past songs and past games, but then they change the instruments, they change the tempo, everything, and it works. They even changed the genre of some songs and it works. I think there was like a remake of like a Bowser theme from the first Super Mario Bros., right? And they made it like jazz. Blessed my ears. Blessed my ears. I don't know if the soundtrack is up on YouTube yet, but hopefully I can put this in the video, because great tunes. And so besides that, I guess we could talk about some of the bad things. Okay, so yeah, again, we don't have a lot for Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. There's actually no 200cc, which is a heartbreaker for some people. I don't even care that much. I don't like playing on 200cc, but I know there are a very large group of people who love that mode, right? 200cc is their bread and butter, and not having it sucks. All right, it sucks. And again, we know it's probably going to be DLC. We don't know what extent to DLC they'll make it, but it's a problem. It's a problem, especially when you consider, like, okay, this game is $80 with tax in some places. Like, I'm in New York, right? The tax was like $6-7, so I paid 86 something for Mario Kart. Am I happy about it? No. Did I buy it? Yes, because I am happy with my purchase now, because it's a fun game. Okay, it's a fun game. I'm not gonna pretend like it's not. But yeah, that price hurts, especially when so much of the game that we've had in the past isn't there. Not there anymore. We don't have some of the staples. Now, whether or not you consider that a bad thing on the game, it's up to you. I'm judging it for what it is, not what it doesn't necessarily have from its predecessors. And what it is, it's the best Mario Kart in my opinion. The feel, the look, this game is beautiful, bro. This game is beautiful. The music, and I am very biased towards music in games. If a game has a good soundtrack, it's already scoring pretty high in rating for me. And yeah, with those components, I think this is just easily the best Mario Kart. There is a lot of improvement that needs to be done, hopefully in free DLC. I hope there's free DLC for this game, at least for NSO members, because we need 200cc. We need some of these characters that we don't have. All right. Also, can we talk about where's Diddy Kong? Do we just leave Diddy Kong in the past? Like, are we done with him? I mean, let me know if y'all see Diddy. I don't see Diddy Kong anywhere these days. Anyway, go follow my Twitch, and also my TikTok is the same name. Go follow that. We'll be streaming like every day, something like that. Everyday streams, crazy. I will see you guys in the next video. I don't know what I'm gonna make. It's up to you. Let me know what you guys want to see. I'll make whatever you want. Anyway, I'll see you guys next. Like, subscribe. Goodbye.